Welcome to the 12 hours of HOCKENHEIMRING, round 4 of the 2021 24-hour series championship. My name is Jeroen Steenhuis and together with my colleagues Ari Kroeze and Delcio Santos, I will be directing this race and this briefing. In this briefing we will draw your attention to the following event and circuit specific items. First of all, I would like to remind you to the COVID-19 protocol. Please wear the face mask at all times. Only for this driver's briefing, this purpose, I will remove my mask now. Please read the briefing notes carefully. They are available on the digital notice board. You can find it on Spotity with the password Hockenheim 2021. On this photo we will show you the speed limit at the entry of the pit lane. This is also where the timing loop at the pit entry is and where the driver's stint time stops. At the pit exit you will find the pit out lights and the board where the driver's stint time will start. When you exit the pit lane and join the track, please respect the white line at the pit exit. Do not cross it, as it's a track limit. It's a very long white line at this circuit. In the pit lane, the team members must stay behind the white line and non-team members must always stay behind the red line. Just before the car approaches the pit garage, the new driver, the lollipop man and the driver assist are allowed to come out of the white line and wait for the car. All other mechanics must stay behind the white line until the car came to a full stop. The driver assist wearing a green vest and the new driver getting in the car is allowed to get the old driver out. And the old driver who is getting out of the car is allowed to assist the new driver getting into the car, together with the driver assist or one of the mechanics wearing a yellow vest. When you enter the pit lane, please make sure you will never remove or loosen safety belts or any part of your clothing before your car comes to a full stop in front of your own garage. And it's not allowed to drive into or out of your garage under the own power of the engine or its momentum. First stop the car and then the car has to be pushed inside the garage or out of the garage. And before you will exit the pit lane, make sure you set the driver ID switch correct. If you want to do a refuel operation, you will find the entry of the refueling area just before the exit of the pit lane at your right hand side. There also the speed limit will be 20 km an hour. Please make sure you will use the correct gate entering the refueling area and at a low speed of 20 km an hour. At the exit of the refueling area, which is a different gate, directly at the exit of the pit lane, first the speed limit will be 40 km an hour and from the pit exit you can go to full throttle again. Inside the refueling area, except for turbo-powered cars, all engines must be turned off before the refueling operation starts. If you leave the refueling area, you must always give priority to you have to give way to the cars in the fast lane of pit lane. At the circuit, we will monitor the track limits, especially at the exits of turn 1, turn 6 and turn 11. For this circuit only, we have the special circumstance that in these turns, turn 1, turn 6 and turn 11, minimum one wheel of the car must remain in contact with the blue and white curbs. If no part of the car is in contact with the blue and white curbs anymore, then it's a track limit. So that's here at the exit of turn 1, the exit of turn 6, as well as the exit of turn 11. Any gained advantage by leaving the track will be penalized, and gained advantage by overtaking another car out of track will or by cutting a chicane must always be returned, or will otherwise lead to a penalty. During free practice, we will give warnings up to drive-through penalties if you exceed the track limits too often. In qualifying session, the lap time will be cancelled if that lap time is set while the track limits were exceeded. And during the race, after each subsequent third offence, you will receive a time penalty. After the first 3 offences, you will get a warning. After the 6th offence, so the second set of 3 offences, you will get a time penalty of 10 seconds, and so on. Please be aware that in the turns 1, 2, 6, 8, 12 and 15, apex curbs are installed. Please make sure that you respect them, because you are at risk at damaging your car if you abuse the track limits at the apex of these turns. It's also possible that you drive through from turn 7 to turn 11 and from turn 12 to turn 16. That's not allowed. If you have a problem with your car, for example a flat tire, then you can shorten the circuit. But in any case, the track or the lap will be cancelled if you use one of these shortcuts. The flags will be displayed by the marshals digitally and with the flags. The electronic flags have the same value and meaning as the electronic corresponding flag. We will not use a safety car, but free practice, qualifying and the race can be neutralized with the code 60. As soon as we have a code 60 procedure, all cars must immediately reduce speed to 60 km an hour without braking heavily. The marshals will display the purple flag, and also the electronic panels will display the code 60 layout. Overtaking is forbidden from that moment onwards. The end of the code 60 procedure will be announced by matches on the timing monitors. And the code 60 flag will be replaced by waving green flags, all at the same time. As soon as you have a green flag in sight, you are allowed to go full throttle again. Please be aware of cold tires after a especially longer code 60 procedure. In the case of a red flag, no work or refueling is allowed until further notice. If we will have a red flag during the practice or qualifying, all cars must enter the pit lane and wait till further instructions. If we will have a red flag during the race, all cars must stop in front of the control line in one row behind each other and wait for further instructions. If you suspect your car is about to break down, please pull off in a safe position next to the track. Those are marked in orange. There you can find marshals and fire extinguishers, and marshals are here to help you. Please do not continue with a very slow car over the track in endangering other competitors in doing so. Pull off in a safe position and the marshals will recover your car to the pit lane. Then the start procedure for this race. The start grid is divided in 2 groups. However, the start of the race is in one group only. Group 1 will be in front of Group 2, so the GT division cars in front of the TCE division cars. Due to COVID-19, the access to the starting grid is limited to maximum 10 team members per car, that's including the drivers. Everybody needs to wear a face mask and only access is allowed with the special credentials which will be distributed by Creventic. We will inform your team managers about the entire starting procedure. At the end of the start procedure, we will display the green flag in front of the starting grid for the start of 2 formation laps behind the leading car. Please be aware that in front of the starting grid, there will be a presentation of the 24-hour series 2021 championship trophies. And this display will remain on the starting grid at the start of the formation lap. All cars leave the starting grid in 2 straight lines behind each other, and they are not allowed to leave their own line before they pass the presentation. In the formation lap, it's allowed to warm up the tires up to the point where the grid board will be shown in the second formation lap, and that will be in turn 12. So in turn 12, Marshalls Post 31 will display the grid board, there the formation should start, and in turn 14 the formation should be complete. If the formation is okay, then the leading car will enter the pit lane. And it's up to the 2 lead cars on the first row to dictate the pace at minimum 60 kilometers an hour. And using the start grid boxes on the start grid, creating 2 straight lines behind each other. And this is an example we would like to see. 2 straight lines, all cars per row next to each other. The others are not good ways to formate. The race will start at the moment that the red lights will be switched off, and from that moment onwards you're allowed to overtake. If any problem arises towards the start, then the amber lights or the orange lights will turn on, and perhaps an extra formation lap, a code 60 or a red flag for a new restart procedure. If you have to perform a penalty, then your team manager will inform you about it, but you always have to serve the penalty in the penalty area in front of the race control tower, where also the penalty box sign is. At the end of part 1 of this race, from 10 minutes before the end of part 1, it's not allowed to enter the pit lane anymore for a pit stop or a refueling operation. After taking the checkered flag, all cars will drive 1 cooling down lap, and before the pit entry, an official car will catch up the lead car and will lead all cars into the pit lane. All cars will continue through the pit lane without stopping in front of their own boxes and will enter the refueling area. And the refueling area will be the Parc Fermé after part 1 of the race. Then on Sunday, 50 minutes before the start of part 2, the driver starting and 9 team members may enter the intervention brake area, which is still in the refueling area. And then at 2 o'clock, the starting driver must drive the car over the track to the starting grid in full racing outfit and without entering the pit lane. Then at the end of part 2, Sunday night, we will have a full cooling down lap again, and after the cooling down lap, all cars must stop on the main straight, where will be the Parc Fermé. Only the first 3 classified cars of the GT division and the first 3 classified cars of the TCE division are allowed to enter the pit lane and to stop at the podium. So Parc Fermé after part 2 will be on the main straight. Then at the end, I may present you a nice present, and all drivers can pick up their own copy of this present at pit garage number 26. Thank you for your attention. We wish you all a very safe, successful and above all enjoyable race.